to take you on a train ride. This is the kind of train that I rode on when I was a kid.
There she is. A Union Pacific Challenger steam locomotive. The largest, most powerful steam locomotive still operating in the world today. The Union Pacific is the big railroad west of the Mississippi. Back when I was a kid, steam locomotives like this was still pulling trains. Boy, am I old. Steam locomotives are like giant tea kettles. The big fire in the firebox boils the water in the boiler, producing steam which goes to the cylinders. That's the box-like thing in front of the wheels. Inside those cylinders, the steam pushes the giant piston rods, which are those silver things, making those huge wheels go around, which pulls the train. Right now, the locomotive is building up steam pressure, and you can see some blowing off the top of the boiler, as well as from the cylinders. Being the engineer has got to be the coolest job, even though it gets to be really warm in that cab. That gray area just in front of the cab is the firebox, where the fire that heats the water is. And, of course, the big wheels are ready to go. I'm standing in front of the wheels just to show you how big they are. It takes a lot of steam power to make it all work. And here we go. The engineer releases the throttle that lets the steam flow to the cylinders to do its work. The reason we're starting slow is so that any passengers who are walking around inside the train don't fall down. In fact, the start is so smooth, you hardly notice it at all until you realize the scenery outside is moving. If you look closely, through the clouds of steam, the giant piston rods connected to the drive wheels are now in motion. I've always thought that diesel engines are nothing more than glorified trucks on rails. Steam locomotives, however, are alive, always hissing, groaning, spitting, puffing, even when they're not moving. Now you can see the pistons are working, turning the energy from the steam into motion. And there's the engineer. The car behind the engine is the tender, and it contains the fuel. That's followed by cars carrying water for the engine. All that hissing from the steam sure is loud. Inside the dome car where Linda and I are, it sure is quiet.
Hello. Hi, kids. Are we having fun yet?
The train is now pulling onto the main line west from St. Louis for the trip to Pacific. Linda and I are riding in a Union Pacific dome car. Back when I was a kid, most long-distance trains had them. And up there, it was the coolest place to see the scenery. You could look ahead and see the locomotive when you reach a curve.
Well, my dear, what do you think?
Is this another video?
It's a video.
Oh, I like it.
What do you think about going back to 1955
Oh, it's wonderful.
compared to Amtrak today?
It's great.
I've always loved trains. Probably because my grandfather worked with the New York City Transit Authority, which has hundreds of trains, and he took me everywhere. Also, back in 1953, my grandmother took my sister and me all across the country on a train much like this one. I still remember looking ahead on the curves and seeing the steam engine pulling us. This train is winding through the Merrimack Valley, through the Ozark Mountain foothills, riding smoother and quieter than today's Amtrak trains.
That's the Merrimack River, yeah.
And now, all too soon, our journey comes to an end as we see the white cliffs just outside Pacific come into view. And that's our train trip into the past. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for coming along.